Minnesota Vikings did very ungood on Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles, ultimately falling 24-7, which, thank God, it wasn't 38-7 because I may have had to retire. And for that, we thank you. Anyways, Vikings had some press conferences after the game, wanted to react to some of the reactions. And it's great that the press can be in locker rooms now again, because you get beyond the whole hermetically sealed Q&A sections at the podium. You get the player and press interactions. So it's great. And Kirk Cousins looking like when they accidentally send 2% milk on the grocery order, when you specifically said skim, or maybe 1% if we're feeling really spicy. Anyway, plus, I love the post-game loss attire versus when you win, when you can dress like Dwight Schrute, whatever. First up, Will Rag at Sports Illustrated. Kirk Cousins, we need to play better and will play better. Well, that's relief. There you go. Kevin O'Connell's up next. Alec Lewis, The Athletic. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. Obviously, a very, very difficult night for our team. You got to give the Eagles credit. They outplayed us and controlled the football game in a lot of phases. But when I look back on tonight, I put this one on me. Ooh, extreme ownership. Jocko, baby, as opposed to, I don't know, we coached the game well and it was just players didn't execute. Hey, Kevin O'Connell, here in Minnesota, you have to throw your players underneath the bus. Yeah, I don't think I did enough for our team in game. We felt good about our plan. They did some things defensively that seemed to push us to the point where we need to make one or two plays on a drive to get going and finish. And it just felt like, especially early on in the game, when it was still a game, 3 and out, first two drives, and just stalling out on some of the other drives. It really was frustrating from an offensive standpoint. Will Raggets, Kevin O'Connell on Cousins' interceptions. We were trying to be very aggressive. Darius Slay for having a good night. Says the Vikings didn't run the ball enough and need to make things easier for their guys. That's where I gotta do better. Again, Kevin O'Connell taking some ownership there. And with Cousins' interceptions, I didn't really put a lot of them on him. It wasn't really just boneheaded decisions. It was more desperation, trying to make a play decisions, trying to force the ball, miscommunication with Jefferson on the first one, just trying to force it to Thielen on the second one. Well, the third one was maybe just F it, throwing it up there after he almost threw another interception, Darius Slay. So just sort of is what it is. And Dalvin was invisible, man. And I think that part of it was Kevin O'Connell getting away from the run because you felt like you needed to be in catch-up mode after the Eagles got up, 14-0, 14-7, 21-7, that whole thing. Part and parcel there. Kevin Seifert. Ooh, O'Connell downplayed a rookie cornerback Caleb Evans replacing starter Cameron Dantzler. He said Dantzler is still a starter, but added, we had talked about maybe getting a Caleb some time here and there. An interesting thing to keep an eye on. The game wasn't that out of hand. Where it was really interesting where Dantzler, respect. I mean, Dantzler was playing from just the eyeball test, not going back and taking a look at the tape. Pretty good game, whether it be tackling, whether it be having a nice pass breakup on Goddard. But then and then Evans came in, where it was weird because there wasn't a report of an injury. Dantzler was just on the sidelines, and whether it was planned or not, I mean, Dantzler was one of the only players in the secondary that was actually giving full effort and actually looking good out there. So I don't know what's up there. Who knows? Seifert. Fortunately, Harrison Smith, another guy who's putting out effort. Concussion was the only injury tonight. O'Connell, looking at the way he checked out, talking to medical staffers, we feel pretty strong about where he's at. We'll go through the phasing. It is a short week, so we'll just have to see where he's at. And yes, it is a short week. Vikings play Monday night. They play at noon on Sunday, so you don't have that extra day going from Sunday to Sunday. And They feel that sound like they feel pretty upbeat about it. Now, there isn't such a thing as a mild concussion. I mean, there was a designation like that like 10 years ago, which is ridiculous. But Harrison, he's got to go through the concussion protocol. Hopefully, he'll clear in time to play on Sunday. And him being a veteran, like even if he doesn't practice at all this week, he can still play. He'll be out there. So hopefully, we'll see them. Will Raggets. Adam Thielen, interceptions aren't a quarterback stat. They're an offensive stat. They're a team stat. And then Jefferson elaborated on Cousins' first interception. That's honestly on me. I'll take that one. I've got to be flatter. If Slay is going to sit on that type of route, I've got to come flatter and be in front of him instead of going behind him. So that one's on me. And on the telecast, the only good point that Troy Aikman made is like, yeah, Justin Jefferson has to come across Darius Slay's face in that spot if he's playing that leverage. So and I understand, like the Kirk haters definitely threw Kirk underneath the bus, but they don't always paint the full picture. Now, when Cousins throws bad interceptions, we will call a spade, but this one, not so much. Jefferson continued. Chris Thomas and Pioneer Press. The most frustrating thing is just losing. I mean, of course, we wanted to come into this game and just dominate, especially after last week's performance, but we definitely had plenty of opportunity to score the ball and make something happen. And yeah, Jefferson finally got that taste of being above 500. Last week was the first time that he has been above 500 in his NFL career, which is very sad. Now he's back at 500. Hopefully he'll get back above .500 next week with a win versus Detroit. Kevin Seifert, starting a late game, post game thread, blah, 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 something about a lot of separation. So basically a lot of words saying that Jalen Hurts' receivers had a lot of separation. We just have to be closer in coverage, quarterback Patrick Peterson said. So why don't you get closer? I mean, it had to be super frustrating for Vikings fans just watching the coverage. It's like you're watching 2018 Trey Waynes out there, just 19 yards off the receiver. Like, what the hell is going on out there, man? But I don't know if that was a feature or a bug. I don't know if that was the game plan with Dontel going in. It's like, well, we have to give these receivers a lot of cushion because we're worried about A.J. Brown's speed. No, that's not a thing. So I don't know. Obviously, it had to be part of the game plan because why didn't the cornerbacks just go rogue? If Dontel was saying, hey, get closer and start pressing the receivers, the cornerbacks weren't just going to be like, no. So it obviously was part of the game plan. I don't know why they didn't change things when the receivers had all day wide open yards after catch, and Jalen Hurts would just like tiptoeing through the tulips, man. Will Raggets, Patrick Peterson said the Eagles didn't do anything offensively the Vikings defense wasn't prepared for. They just didn't execute. It didn't seem like they were prepared for a lot of it, man. Like, yes, you knew that Jalen Hurts was going to run. Yes, you knew that Jalen Hurts was going to get the ball to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, and he still couldn't stop it. So, maybe they were prepared for all of that because it wasn't rocket science, but maybe they just didn't execute. So maybe he's not lying. Maybe he is correct. And then, lastly, Thomason always with the good one. I asked Jalen Reagor what it was like with fans booing him tonight every time he touched the ball. As expected, he said. Of course, it was a lot of stuff. It wasn't hard to block out. I'm used to it. So, of course, Thomason just getting out there like, hey, what's it like all these fans booing you like usual here in Philly? Now, what's that like? Just funny, man. Just funny. But it is what it is. It's one game. Like all the haters and the losers who said, oh, don't overreact to week one. It's just one game. Do the same thing week two. Like the Vikings aren't as good as week one. They aren't as bad as week two. We'll see what happens week three against the low-energy Detroit Lions, who are not low-energy anymore, man. Respect. That's going to be a hell of a game. Sunday at noon, historic U.S. Bank Stadium. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings post-game presser reaction. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. We'll support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol production value.